So I'm going to graph this piecewise defined function g of x. And I'm going to start by looking at the domain part of each piece of the function. That might be a better place to start. So for one part of the function, I'm looking at for where x is going to be less than 2. So I'm going to just draw on the number line here in red. I want that piece, that top piece of the function, negative x minus 1, only for x values that are less than 2, right here on the number line. If x is greater than or equal to 2, so for these parts right here, 2 and greater, I want my function to look like that. So let's start with the top one. If I was just graphing this function, just all by itself, I know that I would have an x-intercept of negative 1, and I'd have a slope of negative 1/2. So my rise would be negative 1, and my run would be 2. So I'm going to go down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. And I could go the other way as well. I could go over 2, up 1, over 2, up 1, over 2, up 1. So I'm making a line. I can see that's a linear function. And again, if I was just graphing it without any piecewise defined restrictions, it would be a line that looks like that. But I did look and I saw I only want that line if x is less than 2. So I come over here and I say, well, I don't want it for 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. I only want it for where x is less than 2, this red spot. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to erase every part of that function where x is greater than or equal to 2. And since it's less than 2, I'm going to put an open dot right there at the 2. So what I've graphed right there is negative 1/2 x minus 1 if x is less than 2. Well, okay, that's fine and dandy. But what about if x is greater than or equal to 2? That's my green part right here. Well, if x is greater than or equal to 2, then I want the function 3x minus 7. Well, if I was to draw that function ignoring this piecewise restriction, I would go down here to negative 7. I'd have a y-intercept there, and I'd have a slope of 3. So I'm going up 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 1. 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 So I can see that I would have a line that looks kind of like this. But again, I don't want that where x is less than 2. I only want it where x is greater than or equal to 2. So that starts right here at this green point. And I can see, so I want to erase all of this stuff right here. I'm going to erase the other function there for a second, just because it's in the way. I'll put it back, I promise. I want this piece of the function to start here with a solid dot because I want it at 2. I want at 2 to work. And then I want it to go up like that. So that is 3x minus 7 if x is greater than or equal to 2. Finished. Piecewise defined function, done.